There are a lot of different things going on in the Scarlet Letter. One of the main topics of the book is symbolism. We will explore some examples of symbolism in the book. The scaffold plays a vital role in the Scarlet Letter. In the novel, it's both the symbol of sin and shame, as well as the site of ultimate redemption. Dimmesdale finally decided to act upon his guilt since he had been driven hither to the scaffold by the impulse, that remorse which dogged him everywhere. At the scaffold, Hester's punishment comes full circle, a process that begins with shame and ends with salvation for herself, for Dimmesdale, and for their daughter, Pearl. Ah, the Scarlet Letter. Since it's the title of the book, you know it's got to be important. And it is. The Scarlet Letter is a symbol for a myriad of things, like identity, shame, sin, and grace. Hester wears it on her chest throughout the novel, so, naturally, it's going to have a lot of meaning. The Scarlet Letter was represented in exaggerated and gigantic proportions, so as to be greatly the most prominent feature of her appearance. At first, the Scarlet Letter is symbolic of Hester's sin and shame. She commits adultery and has a child as a result. The letter A is sewn into her clothing, literally marking her as an adulterer. She takes ownership of that letter, which makes it sort of a cool symbol for her identity. She's a marked woman, but she's not going to take the punishment lying down. Later, the Scarlet Letter comes to stand not for the word adultery, but for able, as in that Hester Prynne is such an able woman. She can do anything. That's awesome. Hester works hard, and the townspeople recognize that. They begin to admire her for her grace and charity, which begins to alter the meaning of the Scarlet Letter in their own minds. The Rosebush represents hope in the darkness of prison. It is strongly rooted to represent strength and hope for the prisoners. It produces beauty and a soft scent for the incoming prisoners, and it represents the kindness of nature to those leaving the dark place. It may serve, let us hope, to symbolize some sweet moral blossom that may be found along the track, or relieve the darkening close of a tale of human frailty and sorrow. The brook/stream in chapter 19 represents the likeness of Pearl. It stands as separation between Dimmesdale/Hester and Pearl, as they are on opposite sides, but it also shows how they are tied together. When it forms the quiet pool, it shows the beauty of Pearl's figure and charm. It shows complexity to cross it, just how Pearl is hard to comprehend sometimes. It is the boundary/bridge between two worlds, where all three can be together in harmony in the real world where they are separated because of the adultery. The brook has mysterious roots much like Pearl. This brook is the boundary between two worlds, and that thou can never meet Pearl again. Pearl resembled the brook, inasmuch as the current of her life gushed from a wellspring as mysterious, and had flowed through the scenes shadowed as heavily with gloom. The Scarlet Letter was represented in exaggerated and gigantic proportions, so as to be greatly the most prominent feature of her appearance. Pearl is the daughter of the adulteress Hester Prynne and Minister Dimmesdale. She seems like a normal girl, but she represents so much more than that. She is a constant reminder for Hester of her sin that Pearl was born through. Like the Scarlet Letter, Pearl is another punishment that constantly reminds Hester of her sin. God, as a direct consequence of the sin which man thus punished, had given her a lovely child. Even though she symbolizes punishment for Hester, she also represents God's grace and redemption. She symbolizes Hester's hope and redemption even in the midst of pain and suffering. The reflection in the armor at Governor Bellingham's mansion was a convex mirror. This means that is disproportionate and unclear. In other words, it makes a certain area of something bigger than the rest of the area. When Hester looks into the reflection, the Scarlet Letter was represented in exaggerated and gigantic proportions, so as to be greatly the most prominent feature of her appearance. This symbolizes the way Puritan society looks at Hester. They only focus on her once in Scarlet Letter and not who she actually is.